Okay, good afternoon or good evening, everybody. Good afternoon and or good evening, first of all. And sorry I'm late today. We were a little backed up due to the launch today. I do want to talk a little bit about what we're putting together today, and just what this course is going to cover. And basically, I mean, you'll see here in the 20 video set what we're talking about here in this course is how you get started with Amazon S3. One of the things that you'll figure out right away is that in video 5 is that you can use FileZilla. So if you're already using FileZilla, one of the easiest way probably to connect to Amazon S3 is to get your FileZilla set up. We did cover that in the course. We talked a lot in the course about Cloudberry Server. So if you're going to be teaching this to a coaching student, you will then be able to use that video in order to get them. And again, now the thing about Cloudberry servers, it's free, right? So I think that FileZilla Pros may be $19 one time, but Cloudberry server, in order to connect to Amazon S3, is free. So when you go through that process, you will be able to kind of see get the software and get connected. We also talked about file backup, right? There's a way for you to kind of back up what's on your desktop to schedule a backup. Cloudberry has something. We went through that process. We did talk about multimedia as well as Zapier. And so basically what we're doing is we're walking you through the technical process of how you're going to work with and get started with Amazon S3. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, you can let me know. I will put the link to the PLR course here in the window. Um, I want to I just kind of want to go through just a few things with Amazon S3 here while we're here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say at S3 Amazon. And when you first enter into the console, right? You're gonna kind of get in here, and let's go through here. You're gonna see right away, right, that this can be a little overwhelming. It can be a little intimidating, maybe, right? But what I want to kind of share with you is that there are only a couple of things here that you're really going to have to know pretty well, and that's going to be um, your IM user, and we're going to go over that in the course. I spent a lot of time in the course over that, as well as S3 itself. Right. So even though you have all these things, these are some going to be the only things that you're really going to be able to use. Now, obviously, there's some other really neat things inside of AWS. I may do something on here. You can see here they've got Amazon Transcribe and some other things. But again, this course is only going to cover, right, S3, and that kind of narrows the scope of what you have to teach. Right. So if you're trying to teach somebody or you're trying to coach somebody, they need to know how to use Amazon S3. We're not going to overwhelm them in this course. So the goal of the course is not to have a lot of stuff in it. The goal of the course is just kind of really to focus on the basics of Amazon S3. Right. If there are any questions that you have, if you want to write them in here while I'm in here live, I'll take a few questions. Doesn't necessarily have to be on Amazon S3. Uh, I did not I did not today. I've been kind of out of commission for the last 2 or 3 days, as I typically am, during or before a launch. So if you've sent messages to me or you wrote to me on Facebook or anything like that, I may have missed it, and I'm kind of getting back into getting back into the swing of things. So any questions, you can write them there in the box. I'll take your questions for a few minutes. Again, I mean, my goal is to kind of get you out of here in 5 minutes when we are here. Um, there is one other thing that I did want to talk about here today, and that is, let's see if we can get to it here. I want to find it here. Maybe I'll find it within Facebook. And I think I've got it in the group here. And hopefully I can find the photo or the link. I don't know that I can. Okay, no worries. Let's kind of go here. It's deluxe.com small business revolution. I mean, I talked about this a little bit before. I really want to encourage you, if you haven't seen this series, that you take a look at it, and not take a look at it because you're interested in small business, but I want you to see kind of what it means to build a brand and then to sell your stuff, right? And one of the things that I wanted to be able to show you is that, Deluxe is now sending me Facebook ads. And the point of this is not to talk about Facebook ads, but the point of this is that it's a great illustration of what engaging content is, right? So engaging content isn't necessarily always that you're trying to necessarily teach somebody how to use your stuff. You're just trying to interest them in something, right? And then you can be incidental in the process. And Deluxe they create checks. They don't necessarily do anything other than that, but they've put together this series and they're getting behind something that people are going to be interested in. And so they can then retarget the people who are going to be watching this show and interested in it, because they know those people are going to be interested in their checks, right? So again, I'm because I started getting ads from them, and that's what I really wanted to show you. I wanted to see if I can find an ad. Just if you can, maybe just go to their page. I mean, I'll put the link here in the box. See if you get retargeted. Number one, number two, just kind of check out the content. Right, the content itself is something that anybody can do. Right, anybody can do what they're doing. Some level of this in their local area. Right, anybody can do this. And I think I showed before, I did this in a video, but really all this is that you're looking at right here is a WordPress site. And you'll notice that they've got a YouTube video. All of these things are things that if you wanted to, you want to build some partnerships, you can work with some people, you can do some of these things, whether it's in your local area, in your regional area, or in a niche, right? In a region, right? Anybody can do this thing and build a list this way, right? So don't just think of building a list. And I'm saying this to myself also as well. I got to give away. I got to do a giveaway, and I got to give away some content. And that's part of the process. But if you get people interested in something they're interested in, they'll want to hear more from you, right? I signed up for this list not just because I'm a marketer, but because I like the series, right? And so again, it doesn't take a lot of creativity. It just takes understanding and being willing to put together something that people are interested in. And trust me, every small business in your local area wants to know how to make more money. And everything you already talk about on a daily basis, you know this already, right? Everything that you talk about every day, everything that you do on your webinars, everything you do in your when you're putting together, you're redoing PLR, everything that you learn in webinar, everything that you already know, these people want to know this stuff, right? They want to know what you already know. So don't think that you got to go out and get some kind of specialized knowledge. There are people who already want to know this and know you don't have to consult in order to make money doing it, right? Just get them interested and build an audience. Okay, so any questions? Again, I didn't mean to go on too long about that. I just kind of wanted to kind of poke my head in here, and I didn't want to not do tonight just because we had a launch. So if you have any questions, you can write them there in the box. I'll pop in here and answer them. Other than that, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Oh yeah, and then I will give you the let's see. Well, I need to give you the link to the launch. And what I'm going to do is, I think the only place I have it, the only place I may have it might be, I think my friend Tiffany. So I'm going to put her link in here. Let's see, where's Tiffany? I think I'll just put Tiffany's link in here. I can find her. I'll find her email from earlier. Yep. Okay. Yep. Here we go. right? So if you're looking to pick up the PLR, you can pick it up there. Okay, everybody. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate y'all. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care. Okay, Bill's question is, you mentioned in one of your videos that PLR has already been done or something that the problem has been solved. Okay, okay, so you're are you asking if you should go ahead with a product if the product is a problem is already solved, Bill? Is that what you're asking? Or maybe he's still writing. Still writing, Bill? Yeah, even if the product is already solved, the problem is already solved, right? It doesn't mean you can't launch a product. I'm thinking that's what your question is, and because some people want to hear your take on it, right? And so if you have something different to say, or you have a different way of covering it, and sometimes you just may cover the same thing, you just might cover it in a different way, right? You cover it uniquely, then I would say go ahead and launch. And again, if you're using the product Snowball, what you have to understand is that the key to the product Snowball is consistency and being prolific. So in other words, you kind of set yourself up that you're going to launch. And I think when the product Snowball was originally discussed, there were people on the Warrior Forum who would launch 2 to 3 times a week, right? And that's not impossible to do if you're solving real problems, right? If you solve a problem every time and then you launch something. Now again, you may not break the bank on each one of those launches, but if you're really meeting people's needs in each one of them, and you are solving a real problem, or you are really teaching people how to do something that isn't discussed, that they just can't go Google something, then you can launch as many times as you really want. The key is to bring value every time you launch. And if you come with something and somebody else has already talked about it, that's not necessarily going to be a deal breaker, because somebody might come into your marketing funnel and see your product based on something else that they bought. So in other words, I buy your Facebook product, I come to your download page and I say, oh, well, he's got a YouTube product too. And maybe your YouTube product wasn't necessarily all that unique when you launched it, and it was up against some other ones, but somebody who bought your Facebook product, well, they didn't know that, right? So they end up buying the Facebook product. They see the YouTube one. They say, oh, I like what this guy did on Facebook. I'm going to buy the YouTube one too. And so that's where having a product Snowball is going to be effective, is that each time that you launch something, you bring a few more people into your funnel. And then if they really like what you did, right? If you did good work and somebody buy something, they really like what you did, they're going to buy something else from you, even if it's old, right? You can start reintroducing stuff that is old if you have it, right? But if you don't have multiple things, if you don't have old stuff, then you can't release it. So again, I'm all a fan of, if you cover something uniquely, you should release it. And if it doesn't make the money during the launch, every time you build your list and get bigger, it has the opportunity to be bigger and sell anyway, right? So that's kind of my take on that, right? Great question. Okay, everybody. So thank you very much for being here. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.